Shalom. Call Haloyam La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachat Kodash. Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Rachat Kodash, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachat Kodash. Shalom and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders and the Akim and the Akwath of the hopeful elect. Shalom. Just wanted to go into a quick video here, a World War III update. Video entitled Russia sending Navy ships to Cuba. Salvation is around the corner. So, Cuba is an ally of Russia, and there was this thing called the Cuban Missile Crisis, decades back, right? And where it said Cuba had nuclear missiles and, in league with Russia and everything. And I didn't really I didn't really look up that information, but I just remember it, vaguely about, what it was about, them having nuclear missiles, and the quote unquote crisis was averted, But this time the crisis will not be averted because, not saying that Cuba's going to shoot missiles on, American soil, but it's all biblical prophecy of the bear of Russia being stirred up, the Medes being stirred up, which is the modern day Medes or the Russians. Russia told America a little while back to not get involved into this war, or the European, the allies of America, NATO, the European Union, in its war with the Ukrainians, and he said that it would be severe action taken if America gets involved or NATO gets involved in Russia's war. Putin told Vladimir Putin, Russian President Vladimir Putin, warned America and its allies of NATO, if they get involved in their war with Ukraine, that they will take severe, will be a strong response. Pretty much, let them know it's going to be a nuclear response. And so now we see Russia is sending Navy ships to Cuba, and Cuba is very close, right across the water. People swim from Cuba, to seek freedom, quote unquote, over here in America. They swim across that water to get to America in desperation, right? So we'll just read a bit of this article, grab some precepts, and then, close out. So it says 4 Russian vessels, including a nuclear-powered submarine, will arrive in Havana next week, Cuban officials have said. And I've done a video like a year or two ago about that submarine nuclear missile, that underwater nuclear missile that Russia has, called the Poseidon, I believe, a false Greco-Roman god, that they named it, the god of the water or whatever, false gods that they, madness they come up with. So it says Cuba's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said on Thursday that the vessels, none of which carry any nuclear weapons, will dock in the Cuban capital between June 12th and June 17th, assuring that their presence does not represent a threat to the region. That's pretty comical, that they will say that they're just sending Navy vessels and that it doesn't carry any nuclear weapons. And it's just like they're just doing it just for the hell of it, Like, oh, don't worry about these Navy ships that are known to carry nuclear missiles. Just disregard it. It's nothing to be worried about. That's exactly what America says to all the other nations over the last, 50 or so odd years in their pride, right? Don't worry about this or don't worry about that. But then guess what? America destroys those people that they say to not worry about anything, right? So this is just, Galatians 6 and 7 says what? Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. Whatever a man sowed, that he shall also reap. So America has been doing that for dozens of years. I mean, I say dozens, decades, right? And now it's coming back upon them by the bear of Russia. So it says, this visit corresponds to the historical friendly relations between Cuba and the Russian Federation and strictly adheres to the international regulations said the ministry in a statement. So Russia and Cuba, they're saying that this visit that Russia's doing, sending those Russian navy vessels, sea vessels, right, that carries and known to have nuclear missiles that it carries, being sent to Cuba, that is just a friendly visit, like they just driving up and pulling up on their friend and just doing a basic house call, just coming by to visit and hang out for a while, right? That's basically what they're trying to say, trying to dumb it down and minimize the significance of it. You know, this is arrogant pride, and sarcasm that Russia and Cuba is conveying over to America, because they're no longer afraid of the whore, Babylon the Great, America. So it says, but the unusual deployment of the powerful nuclear submarine Kazan and 3 other naval vessels so close to the United States comes amid major tensions over the war in Ukraine. And this is Putin basically responding to realizing that NATO and America and NATO has been supplying weapons, directly getting involved in that war through using Ukraine as a puppet nation to fight, battling Russia. Because Ukraine should have been fallen. The reason why Ukraine hasn't fallen all the way is because they've been getting financial aid and military artillery aid from America and NATO. And Putin knows this. They all know it, And Putin is pissed off, and he's now sending these vessels over, putting them in position to strike whenever he wants. And they saying that they're not breaking any laws by sending their, this is just international affairs that's within the rules to visit their allies, right? So it says Russian President Vladimir Putin suggested this week that Moscow could take asymmetrical steps if Western countries like Germany and the U.S. were to supply Ukraine with weapons that were then used on Russian soil. And that's happened. And Russia knows this. Vladimir Putin, they all know this. And that's why they're taking this measure right now, sending those ships over to Cuba, getting real nice and close to America. He claimed that the use of certain weapons, including the use of advanced missile technology, would be tantamount to participation in Russia's war with Ukraine. It says the U.S. and others have stressed that the weapons can only be used in border areas from where Russia has launched a series of attacks on Ukraine in recent weeks. So I'll read one more paragraph and that'll be it for now. I'll leave the link to the description, link to the article in the comment section. It says a U.S. official told reporters on Wednesday that Russia had plans to send combat vessels into the Caribbean region to conduct naval exercises, not noting that while Washington did not see their arrival as threatening, the U.S. Navy would monitor the exercises. Okay. So things are heating up more and more, Russia is encroaching and getting closer to America's borders the same way America and NATO has been using Ukraine in the borders of Russia over there, right? So this is just a chess move by Putin and Russia, just readying the battle. The Most High is mustering the battle, right? This is the Most High's doing. See, we'll get that right there. Isaiah 13:4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people. A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. That's Russia, linking up with Cuba, all of their allies, getting ready. The Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai of hosts, mustereth the host of the battle. And the host, that's the army of the battle. And that's what's happening right now. Russia is supplying Cuba with these nuclear naval vessels capable of, and then also a nuclear submarine to shoot that nuclear submarine underwater missile as well. So Russia is getting ready. The Most High is preparing Most High is moving all the chess pieces in its proper position. And the Most High is the ultimate, author of all of this and the ultimate director. He's directing this movie that we're living called life. And this is all happening according to biblical prophecy. And everything is coming to a head real quickly here. And we're at the end. We're in the end times, nearing that day of salvation and great judgment. Luke 21 and verse 28. This is the Messiah Yahushua talking in red. It says, this is the warning he gave, the prophecies he gave. It says, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads. Why? For your redemption draweth nigh. Why we need to look up? Because salvation is coming from above. Because Yahushua, how did he leave? He left ascending in the cloud, a so-called UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, or a so-called UFO, a chariot. And he's going to return the same way. And that's why we look up. Because you can notice certain shapes in the clouds don't look like clouds. They look a little abnormal. And a lot of these clouds are chariots, so aka UFOs, cloaked in the clouds. Because there are that's the patrol of the skies. Like the so-called white man has his police patrol units to monitor the streets. Well, the Most High, he has his aerial vehicles, the chariots, to patrol the skies and record and make sure nothing happens that's not supposed to happen until he deems it necessary. That's those four, like those four angels, holding those four winds of the earth back in Revelation until the destruction is time to go forth. So we'll get let's go to Isaiah, because the Most High is about to take down, because wickedness is ruling the earth. Wickedness is never meant to rule for eternity. And it's that time to uproot and pluck up the heathen rulership of the earth and install the kingdom of heaven through his right arm, Yahushua. Isaiah 26 and verse 1. In that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. Salvation will Yahweh appoint in the name of Yahushua for walls and bulwarks. And what that is going into protection. We're going to have salvation for eternity. And that salvation will be appointed unto us for eternity, and we'll be protected in that salvation forever. It says, open ye the gates, that the righteous nation, which keepeth the truth, may enter in. You see, the righteous nation. So there's a nation that's in the gates right now of Jerusalem, in the Holy Land. But are they righteous? No. When you look up that word righteous, let's go ahead. And what is righteous? Romans 10 and 5. For Moses describeth the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which doeth those things shall live by them. So the righteousness is of the law. So when you go over there, so the people over there in the land, the little hats, what righteousness are they doing forth of the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High? None. Because why? They have what? They have this thing called what? The Pink City in Tel Aviv. And what they do over there, they have the largest pride parade. And we know what kind of pride they're talking about, the alphabet rainbow pride, right? The largest pride parade on earth. So what's righteousness about that? Because the righteousness of the law speaks against that, right? Because it says that they should be surely put to death according to the law, right? So the righteous nation is not over there, and that's the greatest hoax in the history of mankind, and the greatest identity theft in the history of mankind. So it says, "Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation, which keepeth the truth may enter in. And what's the truth? Psalms. See, you use the Bible to break it. The Bible breaks itself down. You just have to have the Spirit to be able to, to work with you to be able to see it and to bring it out. Because I'm nothing special. It's just the Spirit, Most High put on me to be able to do so and to, mercifully allow me to be able to break down myself. And it's His words, not mine. So watch it. So right here, Psalms 119 and 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So the law is the truth. The righteousness is of the law. So is that nation over there claiming to be the children of the Most High? The little hat people? Are they keeping the laws of the Most High? Are they that righteous nation? The answer is no. Their actions and what they're doing speaks expressly against them not being the true children of the Most High, but of Satan. So Isaiah 26 and 3, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee. So, in that perfect peace. And what's perfect? We know that's the commandments, and the end of that man is peace. Psalm 37 and verse 37. Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. And what's upright? The commandments of the Most High, the law. Isaiah 26 and 4. Trust ye in the Lord Yahweh forever, in the name of Yahushai, for in the Lord Yahweh is everlasting strength, in the name of Yahushai, right? Because everything is now in the name of Yahushai, because he's our mediator to Yahweh. See, that word there is a mistranslation. They say Jehovah right there, but that's Yahweh, and we'll prove that here. The heavenly Father's true name. So when you get that word Jehovah right there, that mistranslation. So you go to the Hebrew. This is actually the Assyrian Hebrew. It's not that's not the Paleo, the ancient Hebrew. But we know the letters and the sounds of the Assyrian Hebrew as well. So right there it says, you read it from right to left, because the right hand is the righteous side, but Esau, he reads from left to right because he's on the left hand side. Damn, I'm trying to get the first letter over there. Whatever. Yeah, man. So we read from right to left, okay? So from the very right over here is Yah. The next letter is Ha. The next letter is Yah. The next letter is Wah. And then it ends with the Ha on the very end right here. See, man, this is backwards, man. Now I'm trying to get the one on the left and whatever. Yeah, annoying. Anyway, so it's from right to left, Yahweh. That's how you say out, pronounce every letter, Yahweh. But the last letter of the Hebrew word, it connects to the second to last letter. So it's Yahweh. It makes you finish with the H sound. Now you don't say Yahweh. It's Yahweh. Yahweh with the hard H sound. Yahweh. That's his name. Yahweh. So that's how you know the Heavenly Father's true name in the Hebrew. It's Yahweh. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, in the name of Yahushai. So verse 4. Trust ye in the Lord Yahweh forever, for in the Lord Yahweh is everlasting strength. And Yahweh means he, Yah means he, and Hawa means exist. He is to be, he exists. So that's the Heavenly Father's name. So let's see, verse 5. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high. So who dwells on high right now? The so-called white race. They're the world superpower. says the lofty city. So lofty goes into being lifted up high. You know, their pride is lifted up. They have a lofty spirit. They're the most proud nation, the most proud man in the history of mankind. The lofty city, and that's Babylon the Great. And a chief city in Babylon the Great is New York. He layeth it low. He layeth it low. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust. So the Most High is about to bring down, about to beat that pride, that proud, lofty, haughty spirit of a spirited nation. About to beat them down to the ground, into the dust. This is all the Most High is doing. This is his movie. Isaiah 14 and verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? So Lucifer is not Satan. Lucifer is a man. Lucifer equals light bearer, and he's the one that's professing himself to have the truth, and he's trying to direct men's steps. Don't take this thing here. Don't roll up your sleeve and you can't work. Take this or you can't travel. You know, and pretty soon you won't be able to buy and sell unless you have this one, the greatest technology of submission that he's trying to make mankind submit to him instead of the Most High. So he's trying to say that he has the light and he has the way of how you're supposed to live, right? But the light is the law, statutes, and commandments as spoken of in Proverbs. See, he said that he's the light bearer. No, the laws of the Most High is the Most High is the light bearer, and his commandments brings the light. I believe it's Proverbs 6 and 23. We'll get that real quick. Verse 23, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So Esau doesn't have the light, but he's that profane fornicator, you know, spiritual fornicator against the Most High. That has gotten all the nations drunk with the wine of his fornication, right? Of his false philosophies, and saying that he has the light when actually he has darkness and death. So verse 12. Let's get verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. See, that's that lofty spirit and that pride. The Most High is going to bring down his pomp to the grave, to death, and to the dust. And the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So that's representation of the body when it's dead, you know, it decomposes. And America, Babylon the Great is deteriorating and decomposing before our eyes, right? Until they be destroyed and consumed. And this is the Most High is doing. Verse 12. How art thou fallen from the great, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, which means light bearer, but he's a false light bearer. Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And he's about to use the feet, the feet of the bear. You know, that's that the head of a leopard. That's that beast, the Edomites, the Edomite nation. That's that beast. Its head is the leopard, which is the Greek Empire, which began with Alexander, the so-called Great. And then the feet of a bear, the end of a person, aka the end of the nation of the Edomites, is going to end with the Russians, the feet of a bear. And we know the bear and the Medes goes hand in hand, and the modern day Medes, that bear is Russia. And he's going to use them to weaken. He's going to use the bear, Russia, to cut down them, to cut down the Lucifer, the light bearer, the ones claiming to have the light, you know, Babylon the Great. And then the Most High going to use Yahushua to take down the bear of Russia and all of its allies. After the Most High uses the bear of Russia to take down the whore of Babylon, Babylon the Great America. A very cold way the Most High about to do this. Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. How's that with this space travel, right? Satellites claiming they going to the moon and all of that. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. And ultimately the stars on the deeper level, he has the satellites up there and the stars, and then also, the stars of the earth are the Israelites. And he's on top of us. He has us in captivity. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, and that's North America. He's on top of the congregation. The congregation is the ecclesia, which means ecclesia, in the Greek, when he represents the church, which means ecclesia, and that's the gathering of the Israelites. So the gathering right now, the Israelites are the 1/3 elect body, body of Yahushua, the house of David, the 1/3 elect. Those are the only ones, the hopeful elect right now, awaking the day, calling upon the name of Yahweh. Not the whole nation, just, the great awakening of the hopeful elect. And we won't know until when? That day of salvation, when our vile bodies are changed into those spiritual bodies with salvation. So it says, verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, because he's flying like that eagle with the airplanes, military planes, Air Force. And Trump wicked behind said, what, the Space Force now? Why do you need a force in space? What are you going to fight in the sky? Oh, the so-called UFOs, the chariots of the Most High, and which will be headed by Yahushua, right? And then Michael, the archangel, the chief war angel under Yahushua. It's common sense. It's really, really plain to see. But it's just a blessing, to those that can't see it. In the name of Yahushua. So verse 21, we drop down here. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. And these, like the scripture saying, I think it's Ecclesiasticus 41, somewhere around the first verse on down, that his children shall complain of an ungodly father. So when you call out today, we call out the wickedness of the so-called white nation, and they say that they cry and say that their ancestors did that they didn't have anything to do with our destruction, but they are in possession of us, and their elites have us in their possession and will never let us go, and we're all in this hellhole together. They're still in possession of stolen land and stolen people. So prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Their fathers opened up a tab that they didn't close out, that they didn't pay up. That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Verse 22. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant, and son and nephew, saith the Lord. See, that's Babylon. Esau being referenced together with the Edomites. With Babylon, synonymous with Babylon. And then, and this is Isaiah. This is the prophet Isaiah that wrote this from the Most High. And Isaiah was living well after the Exodus from Egypt way back, during the time of Noah. So this Babylon is a future Babylon. Well, Slakia, that's Egypt. This is Babylon. But this Babylon here is referencing the Babylon to come and the Babylon the Great. So it says, verse 23, I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua of hosts. See, we know that old Babylon, or Nebuchadnezzar in that time, that was near around this time of Isaiah, we know that Babylon, because modern day Babylon is Iraq. So that didn't get swept with the besom of destruction. So besom means broom, the broom of destruction. What you do with the broom, you sweep. And it creates a wind. And that's that besom of destruction is a thermonuclear missile. And we know that Iraq today is still thriving as a nation and people, right? And that did not get swept with the besom of destruction, those thermonuclear missiles, like Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah did not get hit with thermonuclear missiles, but fire and brimstone and that sulfur, same similar components that's in those thermonuclear missiles. That will be used today as that besom of destruction. So we'll get Malachi 1 and 1 and 4. Slack it. So, whereas Edom said, "We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places," and that's when they were, in those caves, and came out and began that renaissance, which means rebirth. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. So that's forever. The Most High has indignation against the Edomites. So the Most High is going to throw down. So that was the point, wanted to get that. Also, let's get Isaiah 47 and 1. Lament for Babylon, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. That's Esau, Edom, the Edomites. And you can read that, I believe, Psalms 137, verses 7 through 9. Esau, Edom, the Edomite children, they are the daughter of Babylon. And Babylon means confusion. It's great confusion today. Nobody knows righteousness, and they scoff at righteousness, and they're okay with wickedness. That's confusion and madness. It says, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. You see? So they're sitting on the ground, they're sitting in the dust. Sit in the dust. So we'll go back now. Well, real quick, Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and Babylon the Great. It's going to be a lot of that going on during these apocalyptic times. And a lot of them going to be just dropping from that thing that they put in their body, to go ahead and roll up their sleeve, amongst other things. Therefore shall a young man fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud. And that's that lofty nation, the Edomites, so-called white race. The Most High is against them. The Russians as well. They're just a tool in the Most High's toolbox, and how he wants this to unfold. Saith the Lord Yahweh, the Most High power of hosts, in the name of Yahushai, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. You see, the Most High has suffered with long patience and long suffering. The vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, because he was going to personally take them down so that he can get his glory for his name and know that he is the power and not this Edomite that everybody think is the power. So let's see. Verse 32, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in the cities, and it shall devour all round about him. That's the thermonuclear fire. And also, there's going to be war going on, missiles being shot, rockets being shot. But then the ultimate granddaddy of them all is going to be what? That thermonuclear missile that's going to have that fire devour them up. Isaiah 26 and verse 6. The foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor and the steps of the needy. So who's the poor and who's the needy today? The only nation that is a no people. They're not represented in the United Nations. All heathen nations are represented at the United Nations, except for so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, the lost 12 tribes of Israel. We are the poor and the needy. Every nation has an economy. They all have their own nation. I'll be doing deliveries throughout the city, and I'll be coming across these. I've been able to come across and see the different pockets of different nations. The East Indians, they in one particular area, and they have their communities over here and their businesses all throughout. And the Asians, and the Africans, they all have their own setups throughout the city. throughout every city and throughout the country, every major city throughout Babylon the Great. So they're not poor, they're not needy. They have their communities and their ties. The so-called white man knows that these heathen nations don't have anything spiritually that can take them down. That's why they let them thrive over here in America with their own businesses and economy. But the so-called Black Latinos, Native Americans, we are always destroyed and oppressed. We don't have an economy. We just have ghettos, barrios, and reservations, right? And when we are left to be able to have our own economy, we come up in a major way, like the thing, like that one over there called Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, where we were thriving and rising above, doing far greater than the so-called white neighbors that surrounded us in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black Wall Street, and then they came and bombed us into smithereens and destroyed our economy. The so-called white man had used military bombs to bomb Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that's part of the reason why all of those tornadoes be hitting in the areas of Oklahoma, and then the so-called Native American Indians got slaughtered a lot throughout that area too. And Oklahoma is a hotbed for tornadoes because that's the judgment of the Lord for all the wickedness that happened, and that was a highly concentrated wickedness against the tribes over there in Oklahoma. So yeah, it's just crazy. So we were let's see. So the poor and the needy are the Israelites, so-called Black Latinos, Native American Indians. So we'll get so the Most High is going to use his chosen nation, the Israelites, the lost 12 tribes of Israel, to get in on some of that action as well. Those that he raised up to do so. Isaiah 40:41-15. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains, those goes into the nations, the heathen nations, and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff. You see, that's the heathen nations. The Most High is going to make the Israelite man a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth and going to thresh the mountains. And that's the feet of the needy and the feet of the poor. The Most High is going to use to beat down, get a pound of flesh as well. In these last days, when that happens, it's going to be something incredible occurring in that time. So Deuteronomy 28:44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. That's the curses that we're under. Who owns the banks that lend to us, mortgages and everything? The so-called white man. And who's always doing the borrowing? So-called Black Latinos, Native American Indians. We don't lend or own anything. He shall be the head. Who is he? The so-called white man. He shall be the head over here in Babylon the Great in these last days, and these curses. And thou shalt be the tail. So the Israelites, we're the tail. We're the poor and needy. We get lended to, and we're in want of all things. So if that's not being poor and needy, always needing to borrow, then I don't know who else. No other nation is like that. They come over here. They have programs set aside for heathen nations. I remember reading about that back in school. I thought that was real evil before I came to the truth. I'm like, man, these people, they come over here. They didn't do not one thing to build this country, but they easily get approved of loans and business loans to start up a business and make a lot of money and pay that loan off, with ease. But we can't. There's all kind of red tape and denials and objections when we apply for stuff, right? And we have to go through hell to finally get some level of lending. But it's never to the level of these heathen that get approved upon request. And they can't speak a lick of English, but they got their own restaurants. We're the poor and needy, man. Anyone says otherwise, they're insincere, or they just don't have the spirit and they're foolish and don't understand existence. Isaiah 29. And also they love their master and they hate their brothers that come up against the truth, because it cuts them like a double-edged sword. Isaiah 29 and verse 7. And the multitude of all the nations that fight against Ariel, that's another name for Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. Even all that fight against her and her munition goes into, weapons. And that distress her shall be as a dream of a night vision. So all these heathen nations, Psalms 83 and 3 through 5, the confederacy of all the heathen nations, the United Nations, that's keeping their foot on our necks. They're going to be as a dream of a night vision. Verse 8, it shall even be as when an hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eating in that dream, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. And it was just a dream, because it feels so real. Because believe it or not, our spirit, go on like a little trip. When we have these dreams, and it'd be like when you wake up, you say it feels so real. It's because it was real, but you were just, in a different area. The Most High allowed that to occur. But when we awake, our spirits is in that body, and our body again. It's quite incredible. What happens. But that's things that we can't really process. Or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh, but he awaketh, and behold, he is faint, and his soul hath appetite. So shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion. And that's the heathen nations fighting against Mount Zion. They're doing that right now. It's an act of war to have us economically, financially, and systematically oppressed. And their end will be this. They're going to be empty, because all of this is vanity, ultimately what they're doing, because it's only for a little season. And the Most High's everlasting mercy is infinitely greater than a moment of their vain oppression of the Israelites. All right, so we'll get Baruch, one of my favorite books of Baruch chapter 4 here in verse 29. Because Baruch, he was quite sure that he was the scribe for Jeremiah when Jeremiah was being oppressed. That's who this Baruch is. And these books of the Bible are canon. They are legit. The books in the Apocrypha is just as verified and valid as Genesis through Revelation. These were just hidden books by the enemy in the 1800s. So Baruch chapter 4 and 29, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. So it's the Most High. You see, we never seen the Most High physically come down here, because he's too powerful to dwell in this realm. Everything would melt, right? Be destroyed. But the Most High did this, but he used heathen nations to whoop our behinds. So it's the Most High that did it. Even though all we see is other heathen nations doing it, it's the Most High stirring up their spirits to do that. Same way with this World War III, right? So that everything that's happening is of the Most High. We see men doing it and other nations doing it, but the Most High is behind the scenes doing all of this. Nothing happens in this realm without the Most High sanctioning it and ordaining it to occur. For verse 29, for he, Yahweh, that hath brought these plagues upon you, shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. And we know that the Most High did it, because he said he was going to do it with the curses in Deuteronomy 28, those curses, those plagues, with the heathen being over us in all things. But then he's going to bring everlasting joy into us with our salvation. Our salvation is right around the corner. With this World War III that's going to usher it all in. The Most High is mustering that battle to bring us back home. And that's ultimate love, infinite love he has. And that's very beautiful to think upon. In the name of Yahweh Shai. So verse 30. Take a good heart. Salaki, one more. Salaki. So take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. And we know that the so-called white man, he has rejoiced at our fall, and it speaks about that, I believe, in Revelation chapter 11, that they sent gifts one to another, send gifts and wine, and they celebrated at our downfall, because that's their main goal, is to keep the Israelites down, because they can't touch us unless unless the Most High ordains it, unless we go off and we're wicked and we break the commandments. Verse 32. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And who received our sons? Our children and our sons and daughters. The so-called white race. America, Babylon the Great chiefly, and then we're scattered throughout the four corners as well. As they sold a boy for a harlot and a girl for wine, to the other heathen nations. And we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So, and they're miserable because they are, it's all vain and vanity, and it's going to end real soon. It's only for a moment, because no matter what they do, at the back of their mind, the leaders of the heathen that know about this, they're still not resting well, because in the back of their mind, they know that this is they can only keep us down for a season, and that there's going to be payment come for this wickedness that they have perpetuated against us. Verse 33, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin, the Edomites and the heathen have rejoiced at our destruction, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. And the scriptures speak about, most I speak about, a fool, it's foolish to, basically, I'm roughly paraphrasing, it's foolish to celebrate the downfall of another man, and that's what they've done, because they're going to be destroyed mightily for that wickedness. Verse 34, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. So right now they're in the house of mirth, and they're pushing mirth upon the four corners of the earth. That's why everybody want to party, right? But they don't know why they're in mirth. They're in mirth because the heathen are pushing mirth, because they want to keep everyone distracted from the truth, that the Israelites in the Holy Scriptures are in captivity right now in Babylon the Great and throughout the four corners. So it's wise to be in the house of mourning and suffering right now patiently. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. Now everybody is starting to transition to that house of mourning, because they've been under the illusion of happiness and mirth. Verse 35, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting. And ultimately, that's the thermonuclear fire. And then the chariots as well have those spiritual laser beams that's hotter than anything in this realm too. Long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. That's those desert creatures, because America's going to be turned to that desert from that fire. Verse 36, O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. That's Yahushai, spoken of in Matthew 24. Verse, let me see. Let's go ahead and get that real quick. Matthew 24. See right here, it says, Matthew 24 and 26, it says, start at 25, behold, I have told you before. Verse 26, wherefore if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, talking about Yahushua when he returns, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. So people are going to be saying, the Messiah, he's returned. He's over here. He's over there. Don't listen to man. Listen to the Most High. Let the Most High be true and every man a liar. Verse 27, for as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even into the western hemisphere over here to the Americas, from Jerusalem to the east, that east wind, that's Yahweh, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And that's the joy right there from the Heavenly Father. So right here it says, verse 36, O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from Yahweh. That's the right arm of Yahweh, his only begotten Son, our big brother, our head, Yahweh Shah. Verse 37, lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, Yahweh, rejoicing in the glory of Yahweh and the name Yahweh Shah. So, World War III update. Russia is sending Navy ships to Cuba. The Most High is mustering the battle, putting all the chess pieces into play. And pretty soon, it's going to be war. And then the end of that war is going to be thermonuclear missiles and our salvation when Yahweh shall return to save us from that. That's our joy coming from the east, from Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, which is very beautiful. So our salvation is near, right around the corner. So with that being said, if the video was edifying, the world to the Rachakudash Bashem Yahweh Shai for another video. Till next video, I say, Shalom.